You can stream us on all platforms, including Google, Spotify, etc., etc. Welcome to the Tony Michael Show podcast. You're about to step into my world.
Here is Tony Michael!
Tony Michaels! It's just who I am. I don't walk in the studio and say I work with all these artists. This is me. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I want to tell you guys who is in the house today in this episode. Y'all can see I'm all geeked out and everything. This is fire right here. This is the queen of so many things that y'all see today and y'all saw back in the day. I want to give it up for OTHTHAN. This is choreographer, creative director, stylist, stylographer. That's my name for you. I meant to tell you. Stylographer.
I love it.
Yo, you guys,
it.
We got the queen in the house. I've been wanting to get her for so long. I've been knowing about her work, and her for so long. We went past each other in the past, and we've seen a lot of each other. But I'm a freaking fan and a supporter of everything that she's done. Everything that y'all see, that y'all have seen in the last 20 years, because we can say 2020. This is the originator of all of that, especially when it comes to videos like Iggy Azalea's Cream. Especially any type of style like that. People that have brought the strip club to the dance floor finally. This girl was here before. She was creating all that. So anyway, let's give it up for her, y'all. Woohoo! What's up, OTHTHAN?
How are you?
You see I'm all amped. I'm sweating. It's hot in here, y'all.
It's hot, but it's okay.
Okay. Welcome to the Tony Michaels
you.
podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so incredibly honored to have you here.
You.
I don't want to tell everybody your credits, because people know the credits. Sometimes they don't want to give you credit, but they know your credits. But just give me some of the artists you in the last year.
In the last year. So we don't want to go back.
Yeah. First of all, let's go back.
Let's go back. Okay. Let me just, for those of you who may not know, I started in '91 as a dancer. And I was on everybody's tour from, starting with Rex and Effect. That was my very first job.
That's Teddy Riley's group, y'all.
Yeah, Rum Shaker.
Hey.
Rum Shaker. So I'm sure everyone should know about All I Want to Do Is Zoom a Zoom. So yeah, that was my first really, really big gig. And then from there, I went on, back in the 90s, from 90 to 93, 94, it was your Belle Biv DeVoe's. I was on those Budweiser Superfest tours back to back. And then from there, my next big job was MC Hammer. So I was super excited. That was in 93. So for those 2 years, I was on Rex and Effect, Belle Biv DeVoe, went straight to Hammer. From there, I went to your TLCs, moving on to Neo. And I think it feels like I've been through generation of millenniums of tours, generations of tours, from your 90s to your 2000s, Destiny's Child, Missy Elliott, being on tour with them. So I've been on everyone's tour you could think of, but maybe J-Lo and Janet. I think everybody else pretty much. I've been on tour. I was that girl. So from there.
So what y'all don't understand is that at that time, that's iconic choreography, iconic work. We're talking about TLC. We're talking about Missy Elliott when she was blowing through the roof. And we're talking about Hammer, the style of it, the choreography of it is so interesting with the Hammer. You changed the whole game with that, because Hammer was so known as this different kind of guy in the late 80s. And then when we saw Pumps in a Bump, we was like, woo. So it's iconic work. This is stuff that people can go back and look at. So
I'll be the one to say it.
Yo, boom.
Whether you know it or not, OTHTHAN might be the reason you wanted to dance.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you might want it to dance the way you wanted to dance. Okay? Because everybody wasn't doing it. So you went from all of that. Were you at that time you were dancing, and then you transitioned into choreography? Where about did you transition?
It was. I remember vividly. It was 2005. I was on tour with Sierra, and we had did about a year and a half to 2 years, and I was on stage, and it was so weird. I started having anxiety attacks, and I was like, as soon as I get on the stage, I'm like, yo, I just don't feel the way that I used to feel when I get on the stage. And I was like, from that moment on, I was like, I want to do choreography. I want to be able to see my work, you know, visualize my work and see it on somebody else. And so from that day, I kind of just stepped back and I was like, you know what? I think it's time. I want to do choreography. And I've been blessed to be able to do choreography for most of the same people I danced for. They've accepted me as a choreographer. And that was a big transition. Going to be respected as a choreographer coming from dancing, you think, oh, I'm the shit. I've been, you know, doing all this for so many years and people respect me and put me on this pedestal as that dancer. But then to do choreography, even those artists had to kind of, you know, I was back down on the totem pole.
That's right.
And it was a struggle.
Who was the first? Because let me ask you a question. You did see it. So you did you do the Princess of? Did you do that with with
that
Jazzy video
Faye?
when y'all are in? Yeah.
No, I didn't dance in that video. That was Goodies.
Okay.
But I toured with her, so I did every other video. I did I did 1 2 Step. I did dance. No, not choreograph. That's when I was dancing.
Did you did you choreograph the one where she is?
Yep, on the floor. Which one?
It sounded
for
like
Sierra?
Yeah, it was for Sierra. I was almost sure it was your word.
Right.
Your
I
word.
did Right. That was my first choreography with
her.
With Sierra. Yeah. It was me, it was myself, Jamaica Craft and Calvert actually that did that video.
One of my favorites from her was and I thought you were a part of it. It's the song I always call it, the Prince song. The song she did was she
Like a boy? Not like
right before it came out, right before Like a Boy, I think she was dancing against the wall, and then she fell on the floor. She had all these dancers up against her. You can be my Superman, and here I go.
Oh, no.
It was a ballad.
Was she? It wasn't. What's his name? Was it a rapper in the video?
No, it was just her.
Because I danced.
It set a precedent. It was just amazing what she did.
I don't think so.
So let me ask you a question, because your style, with everything. Where did your style come from? It's a combination of what? Yeah.
Street. I've never taken a class a day in my life. It comes from just a feeling, and you know, I lived that life. I was actually an exotic dancer for years, and nobody ever knew. Here in California, I would go to Gardena and I would dance. I'd be on tour with Missy and go to work, and nobody ever knew I lived this life in Hollywood. And I would drive to Gardena and I would dance because I loved every aspect of dance. I loved it, and that was just exotic dancing to me was another element. And I think any woman who ever touches that element in their life, I think has different reasons. For me, I just love performing, and I would do contests and I would win all of them, and nobody really knew.
That's why whenever I would see your choreography, I knew it was coming from. I was like, something
authentic.
Like it's authentic, and that's what I'm saying. You can't teach that. People don't know that. And I was like, when I see people say I'm giving a heels class, or not to down nobody's giving heels, or I'm giving a twerking class, I was like, twerking? Y'all don't understand. And now that you say that, it makes so much sense because it's innately in you, and you're creating it. And you gave respect to exotic dance. So to me, when I look at the dance world, I say, people say, you're a technical dancer, you're a hip hop dancer, you're a street dancer, you're a exotic dancer. They're in that line now. But nobody wants to give you created that. You brought that to the forefront. And on top of that, you gave credit to exotic dancers. Now, we just see Usher have one on the pole for the Grammys. And now people look at that as normal, but I'm telling you, she is the barrier breaker for that, because I'm sure you had to some people wanted to do it, and then some people you had to say, well, let's check this out. Did you have to, for some artists, push the barriers?
I think, even back then, I think, twerking, especially like 90, that was in. Rump shaking and it's been around for a very, very long time. Okay. We may have called it different things, but it's been around for a very, very long time. And now, I think over the course of, I would say maybe 10 years, there's some artists who embrace it, who love it. And then there's some artists who are like, no, I don't want to shake, I don't want to shake my butt. I don't want to do, and that's fine. But I think there's a way that you can do it that, that you don't get the style of dance misconstrued or like it's you downgrade it. You know, it doesn't have to be that way.
Do you feel like it's been? Do you feel this is what you tell me if I'm wrong? I felt like it started all within the black artists doing it, like you said, Rump Shaker and all that's been around so long. And do you feel that? And then once they renamed it, like you said, twerking or anything else, do you think that mainstream, predominantly white choreographers and white America grabbed it and they kind of ran with it, and then they tried to create their own thing to it, and
it's really sad to me, honestly. I mean, I've seen, not to say names, you know, but I've seen from other cultures or other areas do it, and they have 10 million followers and they have a name. But when we do it, you know, our culture does it, it's downgraded, and I just don't understand it for the life of me. I just don't get it.
They try to degrade art when it's done with us, and then when it's done, and I just was like, that's what I kept saying. And then when I see other female choreographers not of color get hired to do the gigs, to copy what you've already created, that shit pisses me off. And I don't want to, I'm cussing a little bit, y'all, but I wanted OTHTHAN here. I'm so glad I got her, because we have got to get to the point where we're talking about some of the controversial stuff that's within this dance world and the choreography world. Nobody wants to really address it, but there is a situation where, just like singing back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, it's taken from the black artists and it's given to the white artists, and it's the same thing that happens in choreography a lot of times, and to me it's built on with agents and management and everybody. They don't want to give that credit. So I just was like, I need OTHTHAN, because I knew, you know, I just, every time I looked, but I could tell authenticity. When I saw Cream, I was like, show everybody. This is the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the real deal. And then y'all, she done damn near turned around and became a stylist. And I'm not talking about no BS stylist, y'all. I'm talking, if y'all you gonna go to her pages, like the stuff.
Thank you.
Where'd that come from?
I call myself a creative. I love being creative. I really, really do. You know, I've always kind of styled. I would be the girl, you know, the dancer. It's so funny now, because when I see, I'm just going to laugh at myself, but sometimes when I'm working with dancers and I'm styling, there's that one dancer that's like, well, I got my own such and such. And I don't come across many of those, but I was that one. I was like, no, I think we need to wear this. That shit look a mess. It was very important to me, the visual aspect with anybody I work with then and now. Is visually, I'm super, it's important to me, because how you look can make amazing choreography look a hot mess. Yeah. It can make a hot mess choreography look amazing by just how you look. Just how you look. And so I think that's where I would say, you know, about 6 years, I just decided to, like, you know what, I'm about to dive into this, because I love it, and it's important to me how people look, because that is the first impression. When you see somebody, that's the first thing you see.
Yeah, it's true.
It's appearance. It's just how you look, you know.
When's your birthday?
July. I'm a Cancer. July 19th.
Look, he a Cancer too. Our director's a Cancer too. You know what? I know why I'm drawn to you. Because I don't know if you know, I'm always tagging your ass.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
What's that in?
Pisces. But I'm drawn to you because we're the same type of species when it comes to creative. Yeah. And I'm visual. I never took a dance lesson till 19. But I'm visually, and I think, and I love fashion. Yeah. And so when I watch, what's crazy is that as choreographers, like say for instance, before you became a stylist, you're choreographing. Or let's say this, you didn't become a stylist, you was always a stylist. It just came to, you know what I'm saying? This is what the directors of the music videos and the labels and everybody that was doing the tours and the TV shows, who would they come to? What do you think the dancers should wear? We was always giving stuff to the stylist. Yeah. The stylist was running out grabbing what we tell them. People don't understand. Everything really is built around the choreographer and the creative director. Yeah. I was doing the Jennifer Lopez. I was doing, Mariah was different, but I was doing Jennifer Lopez and I was doing NSYNC at the same time. And they were asking, I'm sitting there with the tours and they're talking, I'm talking to the pyro people. I'm talking to the lighting, special effects, the stage building, the clothes for the wardrobe. So it's innate. Yeah. But let me just say, the styling, cause I used to go right at Cahuenga and Hollywood Boulevard, where it used to be a big old magazine stand, and I used to buy all the fashion magazines, and I would tear them out. I can show you some pictures. Well, I done paid $2,000-$3,000 for a photo shoot with all kind of fashion. I love fashion, and so, but when I see your stuff, it's like couture / street / high end. Like there's no pin. There's no. I mean, I'll be looking at it and I'll be like, okay, she styled this and did the magazine covers. So it's so many different. Like it's so many fusions too.
Yeah. I never want to be put in a box, ever want to be put in a box. And I'm like, and I even challenge myself, you know, as a stylist, I'm growing every day. Every day I'm growing, and I'm willing to learn about my craft, whether it's even creative direction or it's styling or as a choreographer. I want to continuously learn and grow and grow. And so I would just try things, and I love high fashion. People ask me all the time, well, what do you consider yourself as a stylist? I'm not really a name brand stylist. Not really, like I think some of their stuff is fly, like Gucci, you know, that your high end stuff, but that's not my first go-to. But I would always try to recreate certain things, or I would just try in my head, like, you know what, I could do high fashion. I'm gonna do it my way. Anything about my style is definitely gonna be street infused. You're gonna see street, whether it's street chic, high. You know, I always say I mix high fashion, street chic, and edgy. I love just being all of those things combined together and just trying things. I never really know what I bring, how my process is. I never really know what I'm going to style you in. I mean, I have pieces, and then one thing I learned about myself, I'm really great at just putting them together on the spot. Let's try this with this. I just love being creative, and it usually just comes out amazing.
Killing it, man. I always liked fashion, and so I would do this in the 90s. Every time I had an audition, I would look different. I remember I had one audition, and the clear boots was out. The Doc Martens, but they were clear.
Yeah.
So I wore a yellow shirt with some yellow boots. Now this is it. The one thing I have to say about myself, and I'm not patting myself on the back, I was always daring. Fashion, period. In the 90s, I just did what I wanted to do, and I took risk. I just didn't care. And I was doing stuff that dudes do now that they'd be like, like in the 90s. Right. I was wearing pink, I was wearing green, yellow, and stuff back then. I was wearing bright stuff back then, and I just was like, I just thought I think fashion is key to a lot of stuff.
No, absolutely.
And when you look at your stuff, you see so many different variations of style. And I think what's interesting to me is that like 90% of the people that are stylists are just, they fell upon it. It wasn't something, you know, and then you got the people that say, I went to school for it. But everybody always wants to come to us to get everything, to upgrade their stuff. And we were just talking about the creative director and designer for Louis Vuitton. And also Gucci now. They, for the first time ever in the world, in the history of them, they have black head designers. And they're bringing stuff to their lines that you ain't never seen before. Right. And that's because they're coming from black culture. So
the wild thing that I always talk about with my friends is how there seems to be this fascination with black culture while simultaneous there's a hatred for it.
Absolutely.
Which is a very interesting dynamic.
Everybody want to be black. I said, I find this just off the subject right quick. I get really upset because what I notice is that all of our sports people and all of our celebrities, black rappers, everybody, they go to the other persuasion. But the other persuasion has all the elements that the black woman has. The lips, the full lips, the voluptuous lips, the voluptuous hips. But everybody's buying that. Yeah. But they're going there to get it. And I was like, and I hear a lot of celebrities say, you know, black women this, black women this. And then, you know what happens? I go, but guess what? Your mother is a black woman, and your aunt and your sister's a black woman. And it really bothers me. Anyway, my other question, that was off the subject. I'm always going on a tangent. OTHTHAN ain't never seen this side of me. She like, this Negro right here. And Cross is always starting to do this. And I'm like, what am I creating? What am I creating? Cross, don't be crazy like that. I like my black people.
Yeah, love it.
Now that you are a designer, now you are a stylist and also a choreographer, a stylographer. Do you get booked separately, or how is that working?
Sometimes I get booked as a choreographer. Sometimes I get booked as a stylist. Lately, I would say in the last 2 years, I've had more styling jobs come to me than anything. Choreography. And I feel like I think that's naturally happening. So now I'm being pushed. In the last, I would say, I'm not going to say I've always been a creative director, but I've always had way more creativeness than just a style or just a choreographer. So under my umbrella of a creative director would be your styling and your choreography all in one.
Do y'all hear that? This is key, because everybody gets mad at me, because I'm always, when I'm walking on Instagram and stuff like that, people get upset with me, because I think when you say creative director, everybody has put that on their tag now, and choreographer. That's people that just came into this game. And I'm not putting you down for that. But she said, all of that, when you are a creative director, it entails styling. You all actually come up with the creative concepts and choreography. And so people are not doing that. So for you to say that, I want people to know that that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've had to, it's been a lot. I feel like this is my year. I would say starting last year, I've had to really, because I am very humble and I'm very, I know who I am as an artist. I know exactly who I am, but I've never wanted to force, the respect that I deserve on people. But now I've come to it's literally 2020. I've been like, oh no, like I have found myself getting angry at certain things, and I'm like, why am I getting? I'm like, oh, it's because I deserve this, and you're going to give it to me.
That's
and
right.
I'm going to make you give it to me because I've paid my dues.
That's right.
And I am a creative director. I'm not just a stylist. I'm not just a choreographer. Yep. I'm not in separate entities. No, and I'm also, yes, I can, I may not be a production manager, but I can tell you what lights we need to use. I can come up with the creative ideas of what this tour should be. So I'm a creative director.
That's right.
And I've even had to, as I have a manager, and I started with him as my choreography agent, and now he's gone on to starting his management company. And I've even had to express to him many, many times, you have to sell me as a creative director. You don't know that my passion now, like my energy is going into styling. I love choreographing, yes, but under the umbrella as a creative director, I'm gonna do both. So I need you to sell me as that. I need you to pitch me as that, because I don't want, because I know if you come to me and you say, oh, I got this choreography job, I'm learning how to be really honest with myself. And you know how sometimes you've done something for so long, but you've had to wean yourself, and you got to be honest with yourself too. And I'm like, I know me. I'll be more concerned with when I get on that choreography job, talking about, well, do y'all need a stylist? Because I'm like, that's naturally gonna come out of my mouth, whether I'm stepping on toes or over. And I'm like, I'm honest with myself. I'm not. I'm like, that's where my passion and what I love to do. I love doing both, but I'm also gonna say this because it's important to me. Styling is important to me. The visual aspect of my choreography is super important to me. When they hire another stylist and that should be looking whack, it makes me cringe if I am just the choreographer on that project. I can't take it.